Podcast. Hey guys, welcome back to Content is Profit. Today is the first of a few episodes. We received this incredible newsletter package. I'm going to share a little bit here. Secret M from one of the partner podcasts in our network, Masters in Marketing. It's actually an internal show from HubSpot, run by the CMO and other incredible people. And it is packed, I tell you, packed with incredible insights. So in the next few episodes, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go through some of these trends, strategies, and kind of going through the list that they put together for all of us and see how it applies in the world of podcasting or content or you as an entrepreneur, of course. So I'm excited to go through this. Today, we're going to be talking about the top 5 B2C marketing strategies in 2025. And then in the next few episodes, here's what we'll do. Let me see if I can find where is the table of content. Yeah, we're going to be talking, obviously, strategy, team trends, content trends, AI trends. And then we're going to give our closing thoughts. So a lot about AI. So here's a couple of very interesting statistics. 82% of overall marketers felt like their marketing strategies were effective in 2024. So you tell me, do you think your strategies were effective? I certainly think ours were. I think we can always do better. So this is why I'm so excited to kind of go through this with you. 87% of marketers using HubSpot felt their marketing strategies were effective in 2024. Obviously, bias with this, but do you use another software? Tell us in the comments, what are you utilizing to make sure that your marketing is being effective? And then 52% of marketers who don't have a CRM felt their marketing strategies were effective in 2024. So big difference there from people that are using CRM versus no CRM. We certainly deal with a lot of creators and businesses, especially on the starting phase of their creation process, that they're also starting their businesses. And we've seen a big difference with those that actually use a system or a CRM on the back end to control not only the publishing, the creation, but also the conversations that they might be having with their consumers that do a lot better from those that are not. So without further ado, we are going to go and talk about the top 5 B2C marketing strategies of 2022. And today we're going to have something a little bit different. So I actually scanned it and have it here on my iPad if you're watching on video. No spoilers, don't read it yet. And then hopefully we're going to be making some notes and along the way, maybe not. We'll see. See if you can understand my handwriting. So with number 1, right? So number 1 is user-generated content. Since authenticity is a priority, B2C brands are interested in sourcing and sharing more user-generated content. So for those that don't know what user-generated content is, if you're scrolling through TikTok or social media or Reels or anything like that, you're going to find that there might be some creators that seem very normal, that they're not sitting down in a studio or at their home office with a mic in their faces. They're just out there living their lives, and all of a sudden they're talking about a product or something and they start promoting it. So a good example of this can be some moms that they might be using a stroller for their baby, and then they talk about the stroller and how cool it is and how it has helped them in their life, and then they put an affiliate link. So that's a little bit more user-generated content. So usually how that works, and then again, if you're familiar with this, awesome. I would love to hear your comments and ideas, and if you actually have dealt with this. But what happens is now these brands, right, instead of them being the voice and talking to consumers, which normally, like if you have a podcast, that will be the podcast host, that brands, right, connect with a creator, and then these creators will talk with their audiences on the other side, right? So now you have relationships with creators, and then you give them total freedom to kind of do what they do best, which is create and promote their product in a genuine way. So we've seen a lot of that. There's a huge example of this chocolate brand, which, to me, we talked about it in one of the episodes with Fonzie, and we kind of analyzed what they did. But I thought it was great. A lot of the fear around user generated content is like, is this person going to stay true to maybe our brand values or guidelines or so on and so on? Well, this guy threw guidelines out the window and he told every single brand or every single creator that he's like, hey, do what you do best which is your content. And then after you publish, if you sell, we share a commission with you. So it was fully commission based. So that helped kind of creators move to the top. The really good ones moved to the top, sold a ton of product, got paid a ton of money, and then he sold a ton of chocolate. So he basically came in, right, as the top chocolate brand. And then he said, you know what, screw our own accounts. We're not going to use them. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be hiring a ton of editors as an affiliate army. And then we're going to give them the product, which they're going to create content, and then they're going to start putting it out to the massive audience that is down here. And each of those pieces of content were unique to that creator that have built an audience, right? So they're like, where do we distribute this content? How do we track this? Well, they were tracking it through sales because these creators were driving traffic to their affiliate link and so on. So that's just a small example. We can dive in and we continue talking about this for probably another full episode, right? So on number 2 is creating content that reflects your brand's values. Duh. I think that has to be present in every single content, right? And consumers are looking for brands that share their values and commitment to social responsibility. B2C brands want to show what makes them different, right? And I think this is probably a no-brainer for those that are listening and have been in the content game or sales game for a long time. But you'll be very surprised that there might be some people that might not be true to their values. So they might say one thing on one day, and then they say something on the other end without owning. Maybe, the time of the creation, that was not perfect, which is totally okay. But then, what are those values? So make sure that you have clearly defined values. In one of our values is have fun. So obviously if we are not having fun, we're not going to be creating content, we're not going to be putting something out there. So we really enjoy creating this type of content for you. But obviously I think that's a no-brainer for a lot of people, right? As we move forward, we go here, number 3. I don't slide a little bit though, because I don't want you to see the next ones. Maybe you pause it there in the right. But leveraging AI to turn text into multimodal campaigns. We'll explain that in just a second. Similarly to B2B brands, B2C brands want to use AI to transform content for different formats and channels like video, audio, or social. So again, if you haven't been under a rock, I think you're familiar with this. Over last year, obviously, the kickoff of AI has been massive. A week ago, I think ChatGPT released their image generation, and it's pretty amazing. Like you can actually create pretty cool images and fully composed ads or creative to start using in your thing. So again, more than ever, I think genuine connection, like something like this, where it's like super organic, is going to be very useful for a lot of consumers, and it's going to help you connect. Hence, number 1, user generated content. But at the same time is how do we present in more spots? How do we present our content in multiple different ways? Video, images, being written. So we were just on a call with an SEO expert a while back, and he was talking about the structure of the blogs that they make based on podcast episodes, for example. So they do something like they write the post, then they have a graphic on it, then the person creates a video on it. So there's like these different ways that people create and consume content. So if you're watching right now, you're watching because you enjoy watching. Most of our audience listens to the podcast, right? But then there might be a graphic here and there that can help you kind of get the idea across. So how do we do that? For a creator, that's really challenging because if you don't have tools or a team to help you do this, it's very time consuming. So for example, a podcast episode, if it's 1 hour, the rule of thumb is after you stop recording, that production is about 4 hours long. So 4x for what you record. So 1 hour, 4 hours of post-production to make sure that content is out. And then that's distribution. Then you have the copy. Then you have, hey, let's do a blog about this. So it's very, very time consuming. So what happens is now AI is helping you accelerate these things. And we have an incredible partner in a company like Capshow, for example. So if you record podcast episodes first, you feed your audio into that, and it's going to give you incredible ideas for social posts. It's going to craft an incredible description. It's going to craft an incredible blog. It's going to craft an incredible newsletter, and so on. So there's 1,000 tools. We've used maybe 900 of them. And Capshow is one of our favorites. So, capshow.com. You can go and find it. If not, the link is right below. But I think that's exciting. One example is we had this incredible lady, Michelle, and she had a brick and mortar shop, and everybody told her, "Hey, Michelle, you have to create a podcast. You have to be on podcast. Like, you're so personable." And she chased us for a couple of years, and finally we sat down after an event, and we're like, "Okay, Michelle, let's talk about this. Let's break it down. Hopefully, we can help you." And turns out that she didn't really enjoy creating a podcast content. She didn't really enjoy being on a microphone. She didn't really enjoy the video aspect. She didn't have the equipment. So there's like a lot of friction to create a podcast. And what she ended up doing was she was already writing a newsletter, but she wasn't publishing it. It was almost like, she said it was almost like practice. So we took that writing, and then she, at the moment, AI wasn't that big. This was probably like 2 to 3 years ago. And then she hired somebody to turn that into video content. And that employee that she had in that store was able to do it. And then hence multiple forms of content, multiple distribution, higher attention. So anyways, again, we're skimming the surface just a little bit. If you want us to dive deep into any one of these, let me know. All right, number 4. Let me see if I find it in my new iPad setup. Here we go. Number 4, we're going to go right here. Is using social media DMs, direct messages for those that don't know, for customer service. For B2C marketers, there's an overlap between social media marketing and customer service. Brands want to streamline social service to improve the customer experience, right? So often we talk about how you focus so much on the sale, and then you're fulfilling, and then sometimes we forget that. But then that second part, the fulfillment part of the customer success, is also a great vehicle to retain your customers or to upsell them into a new service. I recently had this experience with trying to recover some footage from people in the studio, and I've tried to find out like what software can help me recover this footage. Found 2 options. One of them did not respond any messages whatsoever. The other service was heavily into social media, and I actually communicated with one of their techs through their social media pages because the software was not working correctly in our machine. It wasn't doing what they promised to do. We paid. We're like, hey, please help us out. And they helped us entirely through that social channel. And again, I trust them more than ever. We were able to fix the issue. They helped me. And now I'm like, I recommend this tool everywhere. So what happens is people are consuming content in those specific platforms. Let's say you're scrolling through TikTok or YouTube and you see this like product that you really like. And then you're like, okay, let me click the link, and then you buy it, or you have some questions. You can immediately, without leaving the platform, ask questions there, and then they're going to be able to respond to you. Now, what does this mean for a business? Low friction, right? You don't have to wait for them to call or email or send a service desk ticket. If you're integrated already in the platform that they're reaching out to you, is going to be so much easier, and you're going to be able to provide a solution way faster than if you're like, oh no, hey, guess what? Can you please call this phone number so that, we can help you there. So start thinking about ways on how can you improve that. And on our side too, like we receive messages on social media all the time, and we're like, perfect. Like we live there, we enjoy there. So now we got to pick which one. So are we on Facebook? Are we on Instagram? Are we on LinkedIn? Lately I've been on LinkedIn. So if you connect with me over there, I'm happy to chat. But I think that customer service that's integrated, that's fast, as relevant to the consumer in the platform that they're communicating with you, is going to help you tremendously as you move forward with everything that you do in your business. So make sure that is part of your process. And then number 5 is using AI reporting tools to evaluate the ROI, or return on investment, of campaign. Like B2B marketers, B2C marketers want to take the heavy lifting of data analysis off their plate and use AI tools to analyze ROI of marketing and advertising campaigns. So like everything, we talked about, your creation, your production of content specifically, but then at the end, like you put it out on the distribution, and then what happens, right? That feedback loop sometimes doesn't get back to us. and it's really challenging making decisions on like how do we get better at giving the solutions to our audience. So obviously AI, like content creation, it will help you speed up the process. It will also help you analyze all these data. So the platforms YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok are going to give you some data. You can feed that data into, for example, ChatGPT or Gemini and be like, hey guys, can you please make sense of this data? I don't understand any of it. I want to see if our content is converting, and at what rate, and what are some recommended steps. And it's incredible the information that you get. That might be like a little bit of information, so then you can take it to your team, or if you don't have a team, you can make decisions faster. Something that we did is like we recorded an episode kind of teasing the way that we started using YouTube advertising or promotions for our podcast. And it has been super useful because now that we have multiple data points, we're like, hey, we had these titles, we had these videos, we have this click-through rate, we have this average view per video, and then we have these total views. Can you spot a trend on this during this month that worked better than last month, for example? And then AI is going to give us an answer, and we can make decisions based off that. So lean in. Clearly, there's a theme on this analysis, I think, because obviously AI is a little bit hot, and encourage your team to start testing this. Recently, I heard from our friend Alex Ormozzi's producer that they were testing a ton of AI functions, not only for podcasts but also for like their teams. Alex was sharing about this on their podcast, where like they encourage their team members to actually go and use AI and find new ways to make their work more effective. So can you challenge your team and do that, right? Like in what parts of your process can you do that? So nice, tight 5 B2C marketing strategies for 2025. What are the things that resonated with you? Do you like any of them? Do you agree with any of them? I would love to hear your comments. If you're watching on YouTube, put them right below. If you are listening on Spotify, send us a comment over there. Or if you want to send me an email, go to Luisda, Luisda @bizrose.co. Send it over there. We're happy to connect, which, by the way, on the 21st of April, if you're listening before that, we are going to starting a 17-day challenge of Find Your Voice in our Content is Profit group. You can go to businesscreator.club, sign up. That will give you an automatic buy-in into that. It's just $1 a month. We would love to help you. I'm excited. We've been working on this for a long time. And see you on April 21st. All right. Take care, guys.